The ad is called "Make New Zealand the best place in the world to have herpes." This is an ad campaigned by, I think, Motion Sickness,
Yeah.
and it's bold as fuck. I'll say that. How do you feel? You've seen it?
Yeah, I have seen it. I think, look, I mean, at the end of the day, right, people get herpes, people get all sorts of things, and it's stigmatized because it's got humor behind it, right? Herpes is the butt of a lot of jokes. So when someone, no, oh God. And I actually, do you know what? I know somebody with herpes, somebody back home in the UK. And I've seen how it can affect someone firsthand. And, you know, I think the way obviously you get it, it's kind of like luck because, you know, in that everyone's been silly at points in their lives, everyone's made mistakes.
Yep.
And it's not fair that someone has to get it and deal with it and has to live with this thing forever. And it's not like, say, for example, you had, I don't know, this is a strange example, but hear me out. Say someone sadly had cancer, right? You talk about it, it's extremely sad and it's so like, oh my gosh, and there's a big kind of like lull around it and there's like, you know, marathons to support it. And so there obviously should be. It's the biggest killer in the world, of course. My point is, though, when you have a terrible, terrible, terrible disease like cancer, it immediately elicits sympathy, and rightly so. But when you have something like herpes, which is an affliction, something that stays with you, something that can cripple you and, you know, can really affect you mentally massively, it's like seen as hilarious. And I think that to get back to your point, what this ad does is I think it just normalizes things. It gets things out there. And I think the more that we talk about things and the less we make it a butt of a joke, the better the conversation will be for those who suffer with.
Yeah, and I think destigmatization through humor is such a strong method to go about it. I think like the whole PSA, get it checked before it gets you, scared tactics don't really work anymore. Like, it's 2024. Damn it, it's 2025, guys.
Oh, yeah, give it a few weeks, a week,
Yeah.
mate. Yeah.
And I think people are more likely to interact with humor because it disarms the audience, I think.
Absolutely, couldn't have put it better myself.
And I think when the audience is disarmed, they can start listening, they can start hearing.
Yeah.
I think in general the audience is always like on guard.
Yeah.
And that like when you're scaring them, they're like, no, I'm good, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But the second you joke about it and stuff, it just, I don't know. I feel like I've never really seen a herpes destigmatization campaign, and so that's
Yeah, and I think it's like, yeah, you're completely right. Destigmatization through humor is the best thing ever, and I don't really get how we can't obviously put ourselves in the minds of someone who has herpes because we just don't know.
Yep.
That being said, I do think that if you are suffering with something, people tend to suffer in silence. I know that if like the person that I know who has herpes, like I know they wouldn't be shouting it from the rooftops or not. So it's something you've got to suffer with in silence. Yet it's also like something that is obviously it's downstairs in a private area, so it's not a visible disease in your day-to-day life. So it's not something that will elicit immediate sympathy. And my point is, you can make people come back. What I'll say is I've been in the room with this person and other people coincidentally have just made a joke about herpes, and I felt their pain.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, so I know that things like this do help because it gets it, like you say, it disarms and destigmatizes.
Yeah.
It's good.